Take 5. All right. Yeah. What's going on, guys? Dean Gorditis, Unleash This Book Reviews, bringing you new book reviews on classic literature, new literature, good literature, hopefully not bad literature, books that I found to be worthy of discussion and that maybe you want to check out for yourself. And this week, I found another one of those diamond in the roughs that I get like really excited about telling other people about because I don't think they have enough of a following, or people just don't really know about them. Anyways, this is Friends and Other Signs of the Apocalypse by author A.P. Menzies, and it's published by Dirt Bike Press, which is an independent book publishing company coming out of Los Angeles-based area, California. And this book is a short, quick, fun read. It's like 88 pages long, and it's basically a collection of short stories, short poems, and these like poem-esque short stories combo deals. Yeah. The author is from Orange County, California, but he currently resides in Austin, Texas. And he is like a musician and an author and all that kind of stuff. And basically what this collection seems to be about is like his time growing up as like a teenager in like early 20s in Orange County. Blended with a mix of probably some good fiction in there just to kind of, you know, make things fun and enjoyable and entertaining. But I'll get back to the writing again in a couple minutes or whatever, but I want to also point out what's really cool is this book also comes with a collection of 14 illustrations that depict California in a post-apocalyptic sense. So it's really kind of fun, and they add a lot to the story. While the stories don't really have anything to do about a post-apocalyptic California, for some reason these just really seem to fit with the stories, and I can't explain why, but the vibes go together. That's all I can say. And these are like really realistic, well-drawn illustrations of some famous areas, some not so famous areas in the Southern California area, and what they would look like if an apocalypse were to take place, which is really cool. And the illustrator even puts down in the bottom a description of both what this new area would be called post-apocalyptic time and what it looked like, or what it was called before. Anyways, yeah, it just adds a lot. I think it's an important aspect. The writing itself is some funny, sharp, biting stuff, and while some of the poetry that's here can sometimes get a little too abstract, I think, for my own personal taste, you know that feeling you get sometimes where you don't really get a poem and you feel like maybe the author gets it a little more than a reader ever would. There's a little bit of that, but some of the poems are still really good, like Dude. I thought Dude was great. And then poems aside, the short stories are top-notch and talking like really well-written stuff, and also, which is very important for self-published and independently published work, really well edited too. Couldn't really find any mistakes. It just comes across professional, and I just think that's so important when you're trying to deliver something like this, you know. But some of my favorites here, it was like 1987 is a short story of when the author was like 15 and when he was working his first job that his family sort of forced him to do, along with a bunch of other 15-year-olds being forced into labor because the parents have had enough of having them around the house and stuff like that, and just sort of the antics and like the punk feel of being a 15-year-old working a job you don't want to work at. And that's kind of the vibe you get in all these stories. It's sort of like this counterculture punk, against the grain feel, which was really fermenting in the late 80s time period in Southern California around then. You know, you think of some of the bands that were just starting to put together their pieces around then, you know, like the Sublime is one of the first ones that you really think of. And that's just sort of what this stories and poems kind of revolve around, is that feeling, that culture. Another short story I really liked here was Playing Gig, which is another funny situation where, you know, a teenager, early 20-year-old type guy looking to fulfill a dream of playing a concert and getting paid a lot of money to do it too, and how it really turns out to not be as good as he had hoped, how he kind of gets, tricked into playing a concert that he wouldn't have played otherwise. It's good stuff. But where this book really knocks the home run ball out of the park is in the design. This design of this book is awesome. It looks like one of those classroom hardback books that you would have seen in like your 4th or 5th grade or maybe middle school classroom. That it's got one of those hard covers that like you see on like textbooks, or when your school has a collection of like 30 novels of all the same one and every kid in the class gets one. That like sort of hard cardboard that like you could snap if you want to. Just that textbook feel to it. Which is just awesome. And then in the corner, the bottom right hand corner, is a gimmick like Newbery medal type award in the corner that you would, unless you look really close up at it, you wouldn't know otherwise. It just looks like it should be on your school shelf. It's hilarious. And I think the author even says in either one of the first opening pages, or it might have been on the back, that if there's one wish that he really hopes for this book, it's that it somehow gets slipped into one of those book fairs that tour the schools, and you get to go with some money that your parents gave you and you get to buy a book or two. That he hopes it makes into one of those, and that is exactly where it looks like it fits. It just really makes you want to pick it up. It looks like a guy who knows what he's doing, a company that knows what they're doing, and it just really entices you to read. Now, on top of that, as if that wasn't enough, to me that was enough that made me want to pick it up. But now, along with it, if you order it, you get this like vinyl, it's not vinyl, it's plastic pressing of like a 45 sort of. To show you what it looks like here. It comes in a plastic sleeve, and it's just transparent. I'm pretty sure it's just plastic, like this. I don't know if you can see it that well. It says Dirt Bike Press. It's got a little dirt bike right there. A.P. Menzies performs writings from his book, Friends and Other Signs of the Apocalypse. And you get a few performances of the author reading his work on here. Overdone on top of this music in the background that really sounds just perfectly fit for the type of stories the author is telling. Now, I know the author is also a musician, and what I'm curious to learn about is that he might have performed this music himself. It sounds like it could have possibly been. I don't know if it is or not, but either way, it fits really well, and it's just a cool added bonus. That's innovative thinking, and I really think that's the kind of stuff we need to see. That's fresh, We have to support our independent book publishing companies. They help sift through the garbage of all the self-published stuff so that we don't have to do that hard work. But they also take chances on stuff that the big name publishing houses aren't willing to take chances on, and that's just really important. But it's also important on their end that they entice us to want to buy their stuff. I'm definitely going to be looking into more stuff coming from them. I'm excited to see what else they come out with. I'm going to leave a link to their website down in the drop box if you guys want to check it out. This isn't a classic that's going to go on to live for hundreds of years, but it's definitely worth the cash to buy it, and I really appreciate it for what these guys have done. So in that case, I can't really recommend it much more. I really can't. I'm still working now on Tom Sawyer, almost done with that. You guys have been hounding me about The Sound and the Fury and how I kind of gave up on that. I'm gonna do it. You've pressured me enough, and I'm a sucker for peer pressure, so I'm gonna try again. I've got some more, got to get my head in that book and do it, but I'm gonna get it done. Alright, hopefully I'll get something up for you guys again in another week or so. Until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.